Hallelujah. Okay, I'd like to just talk a little bit about money today. Um, I know money is a very interesting topic that a lot of people usually wonder about. And really, if you are looking at power itself, money is the lowest form of power. In fact, to be quite candid, goodwill is even stronger than money. Sometimes you may not have the funds in your account, but with goodwill, you can get the funds to enter into your account. But that's not what we're going through today. We just want to look at money. So, money is a medium of exchange, and it's an agreed medium of exchange between two parties. Now, money has been mystified for a while, but the truth about money should be gotten by today's teaching. So let's start. Okay, money. Um, Money is not emotional. You can't get money by emotion. So you would find a lot of people shouting, making noise, and doing all kinds of things and crying. Sometimes they say, we masses are having problems and all that. Money doesn't come to masses that way. It doesn't come to human beings that way. Money is not emotional. Money comes to people so please underline this. Money comes to people that either solve problems or creates value. Money comes to people that either solve problems or create value. That's how money comes. Real money is not a gift. It's not what somebody gives to you that is real money. No. Rarely will anybody give you all that they have. They will only give you a portion of what they have. Real money is where you own it, you get it, and you have it yourself. That's where real money comes from. Making money begins in the mind. It doesn't start from outside, it starts from inside. You must have a picture, an image of who you are where money is concerned. If your image is poverty mentality, no matter how hard you work, you will still bring down whatever monies you gather back to poverty, because as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So your thought life has to align. If you have myths, if you have wrong ideas about money, it's time to change it. Money is not for the corrupt. Money is for the good people to spend, to use, to better mankind. Money should be available to the good people. One of the myths they say is that all those people that have a lot of money, that they got it by crooked means. That's not true. If you solve the right kind of problems, you will not need to get it that way. But let me not jump. Let's keep moving on a bit. Money, the level of money you have can also be predetermined by some things you do. So if you research a lot about how to solve problems, earn, provide value, provide value, you are more likely to position yourself for money to come to you. Expose yourself to information as much as possible. Don't chase after money. That's one mistake a lot of people make. They chase after money. Don't chase after money. Money runs from people that chase after it. Money is like a wonderful, beautiful, well-endowed, creative, brilliant lady who would like to be wooed rather than chased. If you chase them, they run away. If you look desperate for money, money will run from you. Because no matter how desperate you are and you grab it, because of your desperation, money sees that you are not a compatible person and will find creative ways of going out of your hand. Will push you to do businesses, push you to do things that would allow that money to flow out. So first and foremost, you must be a desirable person for money to come. So attract money, don't chase money. Those that have the money have attracted money. Bill Gates never went out chasing money. Bezos never went out chasing money. Dangote never went out chasing money. They became attractive to money. And so money beats people over to find its way. Have you not noticed, just using that same female example, beautiful, well-endowed, brilliant women usually prefer to go with the more powerful guys, the guys that are seen in society to have the power. Why do they gravitate towards that? Because that is the kind of people they would like to go with. So in the same way, those are the kinds of people that money likes to go with. A man that can position himself in his mind to see himself as such will be, and can also not just only position in the mind, but take constructive action that can allow him to seduce, or better still, to attract money, will get money into his hands. So now let me say some few things. One of the things that is critical is the fact that you need to be aware of some factors. So I'll just quickly throw up some few factors, then I'll talk about the level of money that can come. So let's talk about factors. The demand for what you do will determine how much money you have. If the demand for what you do is not high enough, it will also dictate the level of money you can have. So identify what you are doing, create the demand for what you are doing, and commercialize it. What do I mean? Identify exactly what you are doing with money, where money is concerned, what you are doing. So let's give an example. You are in a career field, or you are into business. The business you are doing, the services you are rendering, the products you are rendering, is it what everyone is looking for, or can you be easily replaced? The demand for what you do, can something else take that demand away? Case in point, with this COVID thing, a lot of people may lose their jobs, or in fact will lose their jobs, not because they were not diligent workers or loyal workers, but simply because the processes and the services and the value they were bringing now is easily replaceable by an information technology process that now takes that person's job and does it in an easier manner, with less costs and less overheads. So obviously, the companies will go that way than prefer to retain the people and be having a higher overhead and maybe not as much yield. So you've got to be able to start identifying what I do, the career path I'm in, the business I'm in. Case in point, you would have noticed the hairstylists, the gele makers, and the what do you call it, makeover artists. Most of them found that they didn't have any demand during this COVID because nobody was concerned about those things. Now, if you pre-play that, you've got to start looking at how can I, if I still want to be in that industry, how can I begin to create a demand for what I do, and create in such a manner that people will always want me to be around? Do I need to now evolve into someone that takes classes online, teaching people how to apply different kinds of makeup? Do I need to research and find out different kinds of makeup and then be able to teach it? What do I need to do? Those are things that you should be getting involved in now. The skill and the ability you have, how good is it? How effective are you in the process, or in the carrying out of the service or the product or whatever you're doing? How good are you? You've got to begin to increase your skill and ability base. If you increase it and keep moving higher and higher, it will also dictate the kind of monies that come to you. People, so let me quickly say this, let me throw this in. Kings don't call for proteges. Kings call for specialists. A king will not wait for you to go train to now come back and give him an answer. A king will call for people that already have the answer prepared and ready to meet with the king. So you've got, and if you want kingly kinds of money, then you've got to start preparing adequately for it. So build up your skill level, your ability level, raise it. Within this period, grow up. Within this period, learn new things along the line of your industry. Become more effective in the carrying out of your duties. Upgrade, elevate in your thinking where your skill and your ability is concerned. Do courses that makes you better in the carriage of your assignments. Check the market and see whether the market has gone. For those that are still in the hair industry, plaiting and doing all that, you would have noticed with this COVID, I dare say, more people will be thinking about wearing wigs. I buy a wig once, I wear it for 6 weeks, because people have conveniently done it within the last 6 weeks. Conveniently. So the habit is being formed. If it continues to 2 months, the habit would have been formed, and you will find out that there will be less people coming to visit. More people will be buying wigs and keeping it at home. I can change it from one to the other week by week, and I'm fine. So find out whether the market is going or has gone, and be informed. That doesn't mean people will not still do their hair. I'm only saying you need to be proactive enough to start planning ahead and thinking, how can I keep them interested in what I do? Do I need to learn new styles? Do I need to create some new vibe around what I'm doing? But by all means, be involved. Now, if you need to collaborate with people, because your collaboration, let me quickly say this for someone in the career space. Now, collaboration is very key. You are given an assignment in your department. You don't wait and stay in your department to get all the information. There are other departments that may have a part to play in helping you make a better decision and carry out your job better. The IT department should be you should have somebody there that is training you, teaching you on different best practices. The accounting, you need as much as possible to collaborate. The one that collaborates is usually the person that rises in promotion, and also the person that gets higher incomes. So you've got to learn how to collaborate at this time. Improve yourself as much as possible. Find out what your competitors are doing, because if you don't find out on time, the money will move to your competitors, because they are positioning themselves to attract the money. So you've got to always be looking at what's my competition doing. So I'll use that same example. You win a lady, and then you find out that you have a competition, and gratefully the competition is not is within your league, let me put it that way. So you know that this person has found out that she likes flowers, she likes roses. You've never given her that. You've got to upgrade, buy the flowers, the roses, and also buy a box of candy and buy other things. So what am I saying? You must find out what your competitors are doing and innovate and create some new vibes around what you are doing, the services you are rendering, the business you are portraying, the products you are selling. You must be able to create a vibe around it that will allow the monies to keep coming to you, because you have to keep attracting the money for the monies to keep coming. Let me just quickly throw this in. The first investment into a business is not money. It's not. People bring in capital and say, I have money, I want to do this business. Most people that usually have the money first before doing the business usually don't have the business insights, and usually we end up losing money. Why? You've got to first have the business, not in money form, but in idea form. Better still, in an image, a proper image. I'm a Christian, so I'll say this, in a proper image of God's word. God's word needs to build that image on the inside. An image of an everlasting kind of riches should be built on the inside of you, that allows you to grow and allows you to see money coming to you. You've got to see that from there you can now look at, okay, how. But if you start off with, okay, I want to do this business, so I have 500,000, I'm going to start this business, and you will buy things that you don't really need, just because the money has seen that you are not aware of the things you truly need to send you on errand. Money is a bad master, but a very good servant. Don't let it be your master, let it be your servant. Okay, so let me move to another area that I just want to talk about. Now, the financial level you are at, or you are in, or you are planning to be in, is dependent on 5 critical areas, and I want to talk about those 5 critical areas. Number 1, my financial wealth is dependent on the kind of problems I am able to solve. The kind of problems I'm able to solve. And I want to explain that. Now, I said earlier the kind of problem, so let me explain. The guy that is stationed in a market finds, or a guy or lady that is stationed in the market and finds an importer who has just brought some goods to the market, walks up to the importer and says, can I help you? He's about to solve a problem. The importer says, well, what I need is I want to offload this consignment. I need 10 guys. He says, no problem, sir. I have friends who will do this. He goes, gathers his 10 friends, and they gather and they offload that consignment. Now, you would have felt, and they do it from around 9 in the morning till 6 p.m. at night. No break, and it is hard labor. You would have felt these guys did a lot of work, and true, they actually did. And that's why that statement, when our president said that Nigerians are lazy, people started posting, people carrying cement, people doing this. I want to say something about that. The kind of problems you solve will determine the kind of money you get. The problem solved right now, so let me use even in numerical terms, he solved a man's problem. He will get the rewards of a man. So the capacity and ability of that man to reward is what those 10 people will be able to draw from. If he had solved a city's problem, is the capacity that the city has to be able to pay for the services rendered that he would have gotten. If those 10 people actually had solved a state's problem, it is the capacity, the financial capacity of the state that will determine how much they can be paid. If they now solved a national problem, it is the capacity, the financial capacity of the nation that will provide the monetary value. So if you can solve global problems, let's give a case in point. You are able to decode and bring forth a COVID-19 vaccine that is attested and approved by WHO. You have solved a global problem. You will earn from the capacity of the financial capacity of the global community. So obviously they will pay more than if it were one man. So what am I saying? You must be able to start looking at how to solve bigger problems than you've been solving. If you've been solving problems for just one man, that's why the money you have is at that level. If you want to earn more, then begin to solve problems for a greater mass of people. I'm talking numerical now, a greater mass of people. Bill Gates is Bill Gates because he solved a global problem. Amazon, Bezos, is a global phenomenon and globally rich because he solved a global problem. Deliveries for the world. Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, solved a global problem for people to be able to connect with other people socially. And the more you are able to solve those problems, Snapchat came in, and the reason why they earned money was because the younger generation felt, I want to send messages and be able to delete the messages or let the message just disappear after we've sent it. I just want to have my privacy from my parents. So a lot of youngsters went into it. All kinds of things. The more problems globally you can solve, the more global kinds of money you can have. And the less, if you keep solving one man's problem, you will earn only a certain amount of money. It's the reward of a man that can come to you. So you must understand the kind of problems you solve will determine the kind of monies that come to you. Also, within the kinds, if you consider, so I'm just going to use a simple example. The laborer that carried those goods from the consignment and worked from 9 to 6 is paid 3,000 naira for the job for the day. Okay, let's just be nicer. 5,000 naira for the job for the day. But a specialist, that is a surgeon, can come into a theater and in 30 minutes carries out a surgery and is paid 1.5 million naira. The bricklayer or the laborer is angry that why is such a person being paid 1.5 million when I'm paid 5,000 naira? It's the kind of problem you are solving. Can someone easily replace you? Is the skill set you have something that is available everywhere, or your skill set is very rare? The more rare your skill set is, the higher premium, the higher monies you will get. So keep increasing your skill set. So the kind of problems you solve also matters. It matters a lot. That's the first critical factor for your financial wealth. Number two, the kind of people you solve it for. If you solve problems for the masses, you will get the masses money. If you solve problems hmm, for the rich, you will get the rich people's money. Case in point, a man solved a problem for an Arabian prince. I won't mention the exact country. An Arabian prince. This is a real life story. An Arabian prince. And after solving the problem, the prince asked, "Sir, what would you want me to do?" The man said, "No, no, no, no. You've paid me my consultancy fee. No, I'd like to personally give you a gift." And the man said, "Well, I would really love a golf club." And he stayed a little, then had to travel back to his country, but was wondering, golf clubs, it's so easy to get that, but okay, maybe the prince forgot. 3 months later, the prince sends a message to the man and says, "Sir, I really want to appreciate you. It took me time to get the club, but I've gotten it. Please, could you fly down? This is your ticket to come around." And he flew down. Now he was expecting to see, a gold crusted, diamond plated, something of that nature with so much gems on a golf club as a singular club. Yes. But what the prince heard, and the mindset, the paradigm of the prince when he heard club, was that when the man came, he gave him a key. The man was wondering, I said golf club. What's this key? Oh, this is the key to a golf club in your country. I actually had to buy the land, equip it, make sure everything was done. So this is the key. I just want to do this officially so that it is seen that it was given to you, lest anybody attacks you on it. So this is the key. And the reporters took the photograph. The guy collected and was like, "Oh, a golf club. That's a whole country club, everything. Wow." But in his mind, the paradigm of the man was just a stick that he can use to hit the hit the golf ball. But whereas for the prince, he didn't see in those terms, he saw within his own paradigm terms. What am I saying? The kind of problems, no, the kind of people you solve problems for will determine to a large extent the kind of monies that can come to you. If you solve a Prince of Arabia's problem, you will get a Prince of Arabia reward. If you solve the problem of the man on the streets, you will also get the rewards of the man in the streets. So you must essentially find out what kinds of problems, one, are you wired for, and then who are the kinds of people I can solve those problems for that can earn me more. So if you are solving problems currently, and the problems you are solving is for the man on the street, upgrade, elevate, add some little more skills to yourself, and begin to market to the princes of the world. They will pay you for the services rendered in a different paradigm to the paradigms you knew before. So let me move on. Number three, the kind of skill and expertise you possess and use in solving that problem will determine to a large extent how much money comes to you. So what kind of skill, what kind of expertise do I possess? And that's why I talked about the rarity of your skill, the rarity of your expertise, will determine to a large extent how much money comes to you. The rarer it is, the more the money comes to you. The more prevalent it is, the lesser monies you earn, because anyone can replace you, and they will replace easily and even ask for a lower figure just to get into the door. So you must find out and keep upgrading so that you can keep earning the kinds of monies you dream of. So number 4, the kind of social skills that you have and are employing in solving those problems. Now this looks a bit funny, yes. So let me explain what that means. The kind of social skills you possess will determine to a large extent how much money comes to you. It's not just the technical skills that matters, the social skills too. Now, if you happen, okay, I'll use 3 examples. Let me use a biblical example. If Joseph had left the prison with the beard, with everything, and had gone straight to the throne room of Pharaoh, it is very, very obvious that Pharaoh would have heard his interpretation, accepted it, but would obviously believe that Joseph is not a proper representation of who should now be the one in charge of that assignment to look over the wealth of Egypt. But because Joseph knew the customs, he cleaned himself, prepared himself, and went in the manner, in the social context, in the social etiquettes of things, and was able to present himself in such a manner that after the king got the solution, he looked, who else can I look for? And found a Joseph looking prim and proper and in the right frame of social etiquettes, that he could now say, okay, Joseph, take over. It is important to know that your social skills matter. So I'll use an example in the office. If you are the kind that people don't want to work with, but you get the job done anyway, after a point, if you keep getting the job done, you will stay at that level, because what the company needs is someone else who can supervise others and get them to do the job, so that they are not dependent on only a one-man output, but rather they now have someone who can help them to get an 8-man output at a go. So that is why promotions go to the people that have better social skills than the one. Somebody says, I've been working. Then they just promoted this guy who doesn't really know much. He doesn't know much. He just plays with everybody, and they just promoted him. And now he's my boss. Somebody that has to always ask me for what to do about the thing. Yes, he was promoted because of his social skills, and he's earning more money than you because of his social skills, which he has employed in solving the problem of the company. So they will rather promote him. And let me just quickly throw this in. As you go on in the ladder, your career ladder, there are levels. At the junior level, what they are checking for is your technical skills. Can you get the job done? At the management level, what they are checking for, okay, let me jump to supervisor. What they are checking for, not management yet, supervisor, is what they are checking for is, can this person work with others to get the job done? When you get to the management level, what they are looking for is, can this person get others to get the job done? And when you go to the CEO level, what they are looking for is that, can this person motivate others who can get other people to get the job done? So the higher you go, the more social skills you must possess to be able to stay there. That's why you may say that the MD CEO doesn't have any technical skills, doesn't know much, but he knows how to coordinate the whole people. And then you wonder, why are they being paid that amount of money? You are solving a desk problem. They are solving a company problem. Desk, company, bigger. Company, bigger. Money, bigger. Desk, smaller. Money, smaller. That's just it. So you've got to begin to elevate your social skills in such a manner that you can keep rising. So your social skills that you possess and how you employ it matters a lot. If you are such a person that you can transcend beyond your departments to other departments, that if you have any problem, any of the departments are willing to help you, you will keep rising and rising, and the income will keep rising and rising. So you must find creative ways of building your social skills and your social base so that you can earn more. Like I said when I started, I said money is the lowest form of power, that even goodwill is above money. What do I mean? A man that is completely broke but knows the president, knows senators, knows other people, is not broke, because he only needs to call on the goodwill he has with those people, and money will still come back into his hands because he has goodwill. But the man that has money but does not have goodwill, if he goes broke, doesn't have anywhere else to go. So that's the principle that was being passed in the Bible when he said the shrewd manager who went and made friends with other people, that just in case he lost his job, that there were other people that could help him out. He translated to a higher form of income, that in case this salary goes, I have goodwill in so many places that I know I will still be taken care of. So goodwill is important, and goodwill comes from social skills. So build your social skills so that more money can come to you. Okay, let me go to number 5. Number 5 says the kind of image you possess will also determine the level of financial wealth you have. If the image on the inside is poverty, then you will have money, but you will always be looking for ways to shrink it. You will find creative ways of shrinking that money. It's like when people hit the lottery. Have you not noticed most of the people that have hit the lottery that don't already have financial wisdom beforehand, they end up losing all their money and end up worse than before. I actually know of a story of a man who won 100 million, is it pounds? Yes. Having gotten it, he went to town, bought cars, rented hotel rooms, as in paid for a month, 2 months, stayed in hotel rooms, paid, did all kinds of things. And within 2 years, he had blown all the money and was now in a shack. How did that happen? Very simple. A poverty mentality was already inside, that when the money came, it drove him to do things that was not necessary and drove him consistently. Like, you remember I said money is like a young lady, beautiful, well endowed, intelligent woman who, if she sees you are too desperate, will leave you. But if she sees you are attractive, will stay with you. He was not attractive enough for the money to stay, because he did not have the mental capability, he did not have the social capability, he did not have the wisdom of God to be able to know how to handle the resources that came to him. So the resources flew away. He watched as they flew away, thinking that they were with him, but the cars which he rented or bought had problems. He could not have the funds to maintain them, so he sold them. All of a sudden, within 2 years, back to square zero. Not one. He was on one before he went to zero, because he was now without a job. He had messed up all his relationships. He didn't have any goodwill. The man died broke. That shouldn't be what happens to you. Rather, create the proper image. Create the image of funds. Oh, let me give you a simple test. Have you ever had some good money come into your hands, more than you usually have? Then it's in your bank account. All of a sudden, that's when you have those bright ideas that I need to change this, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. Over time of I need to, oh, let me have this, let me do this, let me do this, then you do it. Then it gets to a particular figure. And when you see the figure, what is this? What is this? No. This money should not. Then you start checking every 5 kobo that goes out of the account. And you are checking consistently. Why? Let me quickly tell you this. That is your broke limit in your mind. That is the limit of how much money you expect to have in that account. If you don't like that figure, you need to elevate that figure in your mind. How? By getting into God's word and seeing a bigger picture, that some men had cattle and silver and gold and all kinds of things that a whole nation envied them. You've got to see that the godly have funds on hand. You've got to see a higher and bigger life. You've got to see that it's okay to enjoy the comforts of life. The more you see that, the more it begins to build that, okay, this level of, let's give a case in point, maybe it's 20,000, maybe it's 30, maybe it's 100, maybe it's 1 million, whatever the figure is, you begin to see bigger that I deserve and I can enjoy this. God gave me this to enjoy. He gave me all things richly to enjoy. So you begin to elevate it so that when more money beyond that comes, whatever happens, it falls to that level, and you are now able to now strategically think and look, I can't spend money this way, I can't spend money this way. The more you elevate it, the more you think about it, obviously the bigger it gets. So you need to build a bigger size of income in your mind. Create a different image. 2, the quality of life. That image must be bigger and better. I mean, 2, on that image, it must be better. Then the myths and the beliefs you have. Myths about money that are not true should be eliminated. One of the myths that to be godly is to be broke is a lie. It's a myth. There are godly, rich, stinkingly rich people. I know one is called Abraham. I know another is called Isaac. Godly, followed God, was willing to kill his own son, so he had money. My elder brother Jesus, when he was dying, it was Giorgio, whatever at that their level at that time that he was wearing. I wanted to use Giorgio Armani or Giorgio Fellini or whichever one. He was wearing a designer clothes because you will notice that it was said that the Roman soldiers who are in a higher social class than him fought for his clothes. I mean, a higher social class than him. It's like saying a senator is fighting for the jeans I'm wearing because the senator believes he should wear the jeans. Not because of my anointing, but because of the affluence or the quality or the price of the article that I'm wearing. So my elder brother Jesus worked in money. He worked in money enough that he had a paid accountant that was stealing his money on a daily basis, and we did not notice. The zeros were going, but the company was still fine. The Jesus Incorporated company was still going on strong. Yes. You're wondering, this is the kind of guy that landed on earth, and within 15 minutes, people that traveled came with gold enough to take care of him for the rest of his life. Gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Where do you think the money went? It was used. You see, let me throw this in. We saw Jesus running away from Israel to Egypt. It takes money to travel. And you don't run away if you don't have the capacity to run. You pay money as you travel up and down. To fly out of Nigeria now to Australia, you can't walk it. You have to enter a plane and fly to Australia. So check your map and see where Israel is and see where Egypt is. Then you know the kind of journey my elder brother Jesus took. So they had money. They were not poor. They had money. You may argue and say that he was a manger that was born. Yes, they had money to look for an inn. Did you not notice? They searched all day for an inn, for a hotel. But it was only because of the census going on and all the hotels rooms were booked that they had to settle in a manger. So my elder brother was rich. Yes. So, but that's not the argument right now. So let's go on with money. So let's say something else. Now, the ability to use money in the present that transcends into the future is a skill necessary for financial prosperity. I'll say it again. The ability to use money in the present that transcends into the future is a skill necessary for financial prosperity. For financial prosperity to be real in your life, you cannot think only present day needs. you must be thinking of how some of that money will transcend into the future. And if you do it well enough, that it will not be the same amount you are getting in the future, but multiples of what you get in the future, which is called investments. So there should be investments going on. There should be things being done. There should be actions being taken in the present that is meant for the future. Don't spend all your money in the present. If you do, you will have none in the future. Financial prosperity is based on the skill to be able to delay gratification in the present so that you can have a greater gratification in the future. That's how financial prosperity comes. Another way is this: he that can work with money in the present and send it into the future will be rich. I'll say it again. He that can work with money in the present and send it into the future will be rich. So, what are some of the ways that you can work with money in the present and send it, hallelujah, and send it into the future? Wow. Okay. Let me just quickly share this. 7 cures for a lean purse. If your bank account is lean right now, and we can understand it's COVID era, but if it's lean, if it's not exactly lean, these same principles can work for you. If it's lean, it will work for you. If it's not lean, you will even be richer. So let's start with number 1. Save. Savings is key. Start thy purse to fattening. How do you do that? Save at least a portion of whatever comes to you. Why? Let me say this. Most people were caught unawares with COVID because they didn't have an emergency fund. You should have an emergency fund. A fund that is not meant for you to spend, but rather it's only for emergencies. And because it's for emergency, you also strategically work with it bit by bit. You don't blow it up because it's for emergencies. So one emergency after another, that's where the fund is. You should be able to have some money left there. So if it's like a good practice, do a 20%, do a 10%, do a 5%, but by all means do something. He that does not do something is like a man that is only thinking about the present, but is not preparing money to go into the future for him. So always be able to save a portion of whatever you're earning, because at the appropriate time, it's those savings that allows you to still keep balanced. Imagine a man who just finished building a house. His intention is for the house to be rented by some people, and he's so happy that, okay, I'll put it on the market and I'll make times 2 of whatever I used to build the house. He spent all his money, borrowed from the bank. He doesn't have any cash flow anywhere. Really is not a sociable person, so goodwill is out of the window, and he has borrowed from all family members left, right, and center. Then he finishes building in March, puts it on the market, and some people have asked him questions. That's March 2020. Some people have asked him questions about the house, but he's not seeing the appropriate buyer. Then come middle of March, the government says COVID and all that, and he's like, okay, no problem. Let me quickly get. So he starts publicizing the house. So yeah, please, people come in. So he has an appointment at the end of the month for someone to rent the house. Then there's a lockdown a week before the end of the month, and the lockdown persists right now. Remember, no emergency fund. Remember, he has borrowed from every family member. Remember, not a sociable person, no goodwill. Remember, he has borrowed from the bank. Remember, all that he owns is inside that building. What is that man going to live upon? So what could have been done is that there should be some money kept in an emergency fund while he's building the house. That money is what he can fall back upon and carry him through the last 6 weeks that we've had of a lockdown. But if he's not done that and has put and hinged his financial wealth and financial future on a real estate investment, then right now he's shortchanged. Nobody has bought a house. Nobody's moving anywhere. Everybody's locked down. So what happens? Is he not going to eat? He has children. He has a wife. He has obligations. So you must necessarily have an emergency fund. Don't put all your eggs into one basket. That statement means have an emergency fund somewhere, have a savings somewhere. It's not that every money you have that is excess is put into investment. No, have an emergency fund. That this COVID has taught you a lesson. Your stocks right now that you've been trying to sell, have you sold it? The things so you learn from the mistakes of the past and create an emergency fund. Save some money. Always save at every point in time. Number 2, control your expenditure. Watch out for overheads. The greatest challenge of Nigerian, in fact, global businesses, but especially in Nigeria, the greatest challenge of entrepreneurs, the greatest challenge for entrepreneurship in Nigeria, the greatest challenge, especially even in Lagos, is that people are not aware that they have an enemy called overhead that is usually creeping beside you when you start a business. Overheads is the one that whispers to you, buy that expensive machine. When you can outsource that particular aspect of your business to someone at a much cheaper price and still continue maintaining your business while you are trying to build clientele. Overheads will say it's better to own it and have it because you don't want anybody to mess you up. Overheads will speak and say, why are you getting a room and parlor for this business? Get an office suite, 4 rooms. Yes, you're going to put, then equip it with computer systems, equip it, have an AC, buy a generator downstairs. Make sure everything is set. You'll be taking photographs with postings on Instagram and all that. Now, if you've done that, those computers are not producing money right now. The AC, the gen is not producing any money during this lockdown. You have tied down money, tied down capital that you could have used to keep yourself running. Maybe online, if your business could go online. But you cannot convert any of those monies now into money that you can use online. So as much as possible, control your expenditure. Money being given to you, money that you are getting is not to be spent all. You should keep some. What do we do? Control your expenditure. I remember the particular guy some time back. He walked up to me and asked me some questions. He was trying to get into business and into a dry cleaning business. He had worked with his uncle for a while and he really had learned some major part of the business and felt it's time for him to stand on his own. So walked up to me and based on my position somewhere, he felt that, okay, in walking up to me, I could influence him getting some funds that would allow him do the business. So he came with I told him, okay, bring your business plan. And when I saw the business plan, I was shocked. Why was I shocked? It was the regular normal business plans that people have. Okay, so this is what I need. I'll need a washing machine. I'll need 2 heavy duty industrial irons, what was it Collins or Michael? I can't remember now. I'll need that. I'll need this. I'll need that. Then this is money for a rental of a space and all that. By the time it was up, I think phase 1 was 500,000. Phase 2, by the time it finished, will be 1.5. I actually laughed. Then I said, are you really interested in me advising you? He said yes. I said, are you very sure? He said yes. So I simply just asked him some few questions. I said, okay, if you buy all this, will this bring the clients? Yes. I said, let's examine it carefully. Your iron will be announcing in the streets and on Instagram and everywhere that come and iron. I said no. Okay, sorry. The office space will be announcing to people, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Come in, come in, come in. Will people come in? No. I said, okay, this is, by the time I analyzed, he saw that everything he was looking for would not bring in the clientele. I said, the first thing you need for the continuity of the business is your clientele. So every monies you want to spend at all will first go into building a sizable clientele. And I said, how to do that, especially since you are breaking into market, is not to start building overheads in, but to look for creative, simple ways of starting off. I said, go meet people and say, please give me your clothes, let me wash. You wash for them, you dry clean it, and you provide free. You know, people don't like hearing free. But you can't do it free the first time and do it free the second time. You would have done it free the first time. It's called tastes. You taste it, see the pudding is sweet, then you make a demand. But let's not go into that. Let me go on with the story. So I ended up being able to analyze, and I told the guy, you don't need 500,000. I said, with under 15,000, you would have what you need. He said, 15. I said, yes, I can prove it to you. He said, okay, prove it to me, sir. And I said, okay, sir. All you need is a place to dry clothes, number one. Two, you will need at least some buckets to work with. Yeah. You will need soap to wash, and you need an iron to iron, and possibly starch. By the time we did all that, it was less than 10K, everything. Less than 10K, because I wouldn't tell him to go buy the Collins iron. All he needed was a Philips iron that he could use and still start it off while he's building. So within under 10K, I said, this 10K would have it set. You have a place that you can dry the clothes. You have this. So now that you already have what is necessary if a client comes. Am I right? Technically. He said, I said, for the clothes, you wash. You have a place where water is coming out from. You have a place to dry it. You have soap to wash. You have starch to prepare. You have iron to iron. What else are you looking for? NEPA and all that. Obviously, you're just starting. They will also understand. You are offering this thing free. Okay. He said, okay. So he went and did. Today, to the glory of God, he has a dry cleaning company, has workers working for him, has the equipment he had put on his initial documents that he submitted to me, has actually more than those equipments right now, and is doing pretty fine. Pretty fine. He didn't have to allow overheads kill the business. Most people start off a business and you already are in a hole of 1.5 million, 2.5 million, 5.5 million before starting to even get the first customer. So the first customer, you are already determined, you are desperate to get the customer. You get the customer in, it doesn't have a wonderful experience because you are feeling, I've put all these things here so that you can be happy. So the services I'm rendering is even beyond, and the person pays you max. Let's just give an example that is a highly rated job, 50K. You've put in 5.5 million in a hole. How many 50Ks are you going to get before you get yourself out of the red? That's why a lot of times, many of them don't break even in the first year or in the second year. That's why there is no feeding money in the business, because the overheads has eaten the feeding money for the next 3 years. So find creative ways of bringing down your overheads, and so control your expenditure. Watch your overheads. Don't be like the Joneses, that your friend started off with an office suit and is doing fine. Doing fine is relative. You don't have the funds to do that. Work with the funds on hand. Reduce your overheads. I can guarantee you, if you reduce your, in fact, I have a personal situation. I started off with one of my businesses with an office set up, machines, state-of-the-art machines, everything in place, ready. I was into fashion designing, ready, and a particular brand today, I won't mention the name, who is internationally recognized now, started after me. I actually knew the person one-on-one when the person was selling from his booth. he did not take overheads to kill his business. He was selling from the booth. He will make clothes, shirts, and sell from his booth. Suits, sell from his booth. So after a point, he could travel out of the country, get orders, and bring it back into the country. Today now, he owns buildings. The overheads did not kill his business at the initial stage. He worked small. See it big, keep it simple. Now he has branches not just in Nigeria alone, also outside the shores of Nigeria. He owns buildings within Lagos, Nigeria, and other places. How did that happen? He didn't allow overheads to kill his business. Am I still in the fashion business? No. So understand, these principles are real. Okay, make thy gold multiply. So one of the things you need to do next will be that the money is being saved, a portion of it, remember, the savings is emergency savings, so emergency fund, and some other money that you can now use for investment. Don't use all the savings for investment. Use some. And let me just put a note of warning when you are doing investments. The key learning points, you will still thank me for this. The key learning point with investment is never put money you cannot walk away from in an investment. I'll say it again. Do not put money you can't walk away from in an investment. If you put all your money into an investment, what you have done is to show money that you are desperate. And don't forget this example. Money is like a female woman who doesn't like desperate people. It will go away. Money does not want that. So if you are in control of money, you are a master of money. Money is a good servant. But if money is your master, is the one dictating what you do, how you now have 5 million there, okay, yeah, put all the 5 million, and that's how it can become 100 million. You would have put that 5 million, and money has become the master, and it's a bad master. It does not know. It does not like desperate people, and so will find its way away. And that's even true. The example of a young lady. Have you not noticed that? Oh, the young lady says, okay, we need to buy this car, we need to do this, because she has an overbloated view of the monies the person has. So the person spends the money, now becomes broke. Now the guy expects the lady that was living for the flashy life to stay with him when he's now broke. No, the lady just moves away and looks for the next flashy guy. You say they are fickle. No, that's just it. Money is like that. Money is fickle. It will look for the next flashy guy. We will not stay with the broke guy. So don't be desperate in your dealings where investments are concerned. More people have lost a lot of money and have not recovered because they acted out differently from what I advised. They put in all their hard-earned money. Have you not heard that statement? All my hard-earned money was put into that investment and it flopped. No, don't put all. Put a portion that you can walk away from. If it does well, you have gained something. If it does not do well, it does not kill you. You keep moving on until you find the right investment that you put money in, and it will do a lot for you. So let's go on. Now, guard thy treasure from loss. That means you should have smart scrutiny of the investments you want to get involved with. Don't just take what the specialists have said and say that is true. No. Understand that they have reasons for why they say what they are saying. You do your own homework. So let me drop this here again. One of the things you need to put into consideration is the fact that you must have technical expertise in the area of the investment you are putting in. Don't go into Forex without you understanding how the forex market works. Don't go into shares without understanding how the share market works. Don't go into agricultural based businesses without knowing how those things work. Find out, take the time to invest in finding out, researching, and becoming technically aware of how those industries work. before you put money in. If you will do that, you will save yourself the heartache of money being lost. Money does not need to be lost, money needs to be gained. And you're gaining it is by you exposing yourself to information, improving yourself in your understanding, being able to be more aware and financially wiser in dealing with the investments. Okay, make that dwelling a profitable investment to a large extent. One of the key things we've seen so far in the world is that real estate is very necessary. But I want to put a note of warning there. Don't get into the real estate market and become greedy. Get into the real estate market and just understand that I will only put in what I can walk away from, because some deals will always come. There will always be deals. As long as there is this earth, there will be lands to still be bought, there will be buildings to still build. So if you miss one, because usually the whole idea is this: there's an open window of 3 months right now, or an open window. If you're not able to do this, is a fantastic, one of the best deals ever. This is a deal of a lifetime. This. All those things are being said. But the question is, have you done your due diligence? If while you are doing your due diligence, the time elapsed, there will still be another one waiting for you. It's a cycle. It will still come. All you need to do is make sure you are doing your due diligence, finding out about it. Make it a profitable investment. The home you live in or the real estate you get involved with, make it a profitable investment by doing your homework on it. Money will stay in your hands. Now, ensure a future income. By all means, find ways, creative ways of having a future income. There must be money that you are sending into the future that will grow and have other monies as children that will be answering to you. As much as possible, find out financial instruments that you can get involved with that can aid you, that while you are in your old age, that instrument is paying you and keeps paying you for the rest of your life. There are instruments like that. There are all kinds of things that you can get involved with. One of it is annuity, but that's not what I'm doing today. I just want to talk to you about how to increase your purse. So finally, always look out for how to increase your ability or your attractiveness to money. And how can you increase your attractiveness to money? By finding out more information and having more value and being able to prefer big solutions to bigger problems. This will enable you at various points in time to be able to enjoy the benefits of your purse getting fatter and bigger. If you do these 7 things: 1, save; 2, control your expenditure, that is, knock out overheads; 3, get involved with investments with you understand the technical aspects of it; 4, guard your treasure, so do smart scrutiny, learn and become knowledgeable about the area or the industry you are getting involved in as much as possible. If you are going into real estate, that's number 5. If you're going into real estate, make sure it's a profitable one and the one that you didn't rush into. Make sure you do your due diligence. 6, make sure you have an income that will be paying you for the rest of your life, and make sure you're not spending all in the present, but some of the money is going into the future that will answer and handle you in the future. And then 7, make sure you are improving yourself very, very well. Okay, so I will stop there. We'll talk some more about money and money matters some other time. I hope you learn some few things that you can apply and handle for the present season. I do trust that wisdom has been released for you to apply, and that the shortest and possible time you will have testimonies. You'll be able to move forward in your finances, and you would have implemented things that would have transformed your income. God bless you. Do have a lovely, lovely time.